everybody knows the basic 𝗦𝗦𝗍𝗍 tips like growing weed, keeping your machines running, or avoiding farm visitors. But honestly, some tips completely change the way you play the game forever. And once you understand these properly, your farm becomes easier to manage, richer, more organized, and honestly, way less stressful. So in this video, I'm going to share 5 𝗦𝗍𝗍𝗍 tips and tricks that can genuinely change how you play the game. Whether you're a beginner, mid-level player, or even a veteran player. And trust me, some of these things are actually very important to know. Number 1. No rushing levels too fast. One of the biggest mistakes players make in 𝗦𝗍𝗍𝗍 is when they try to rush levels too fast. A lot of people get excited seeing XP go up constantly, unlocking new machines, new products, new buildings, and honestly, at first it feels amazing. But then suddenly, the game starts becoming stressful instead of fun. Your barn gets full every few minutes, your silo cannot hold crops properly, you unlock machines that cost hundreds of thousands of coins, and you realize you leveled up much faster than your actual farm progress. And honestly, this is something many players understand way too late. Because in 𝗦𝗍𝗍𝗍, your level is not the real progress. Your real progress is how stable your coins are, how strong your barn and silo are, and whether your farm can actually handle the level you're at. Like honestly, what's the point of being a high level player if you can't store products properly, you constantly struggle for space, or you cannot even afford the machines you unlock? And this is exactly why barn and coin management are honestly more important than XP in many situations, especially early and mid-game. So what should you actually do instead? First of all, stop chasing XP constantly from everything. You do not need to complete every truck order or even redeem XP from design festival shop or event catalogs. Sometimes slowing down your leveling is actually healthier for your farm. Focus more on upgrading your barn, upgrading your silo, building stable coins, and keeping your production balanced. And this is why I really like the prosperity crates, because for once 𝗦𝗍𝗍𝗍 gives players a choice between coins or XP. And I think that's very smart because not every player has the same priorities. Some players desperately need coins for machines and expansion, while others are already stable and want faster leveling instead. So before blindly choosing XP every single time, think about what your farm actually needs right now. Because leveling up is exciting for a moment, but having a stable farm makes the game enjoyable long term. Tip number 2. Manage your coins carefully. One thing that quietly destroys progress in 𝗦𝗍𝗍𝗍 is poor coin management. And many players do not realize this until they suddenly unlock a new machine that is expensive and they simply cannot afford it. A lot of players spend coins on random things without planning properly. Buying expensive decorations too early, unnecessary newspaper shopping, purchasing things they could easily make themselves, and constantly spending coins just to save time. To be really honest, there is nothing wrong with the decorations or enjoying your farm. That's literally part of the fun of 𝗦𝗍𝗍𝗍. But if every new level becomes, oh no, I can't afford this machine, then your farm starts falling behind badly. That's why early game players should focus more on building stable coins first instead of chasing XP constantly. And another thing that helped me personally was keeping a safety amount of coins. For example, maybe you decide never to go below 50,000 coins or 1 lakh coins depending on your level. That way you always have emergency money for machines or important purchases. Because trust me, being completely broke in 𝗦𝗍𝗍𝗍 is one of the worst feelings. And honestly, once you learn coin management properly, the entire game becomes less stressful. Tip number 3. The 90-day movie ticket trick. Okay, this next tip honestly surprised me when I first learned about it because a lot of players don't realize this mechanic exists. You know the movie ticket near your mailbox? The one where you usually have to sit through ads and trailers just to collect some rewards. Well, apparently, 𝗦𝗍𝗍𝗍 has a little hidden feature connected to purchases. If you make any real money purchases in the game, even something really small like the cheapest diamond pack or a basic farm pass bundle, the game activates what players call an ad-free period for around 90 days. And during that time, the movie ticket rewards become so much faster to collect. Instead of watching full trailers every time, you can usually just tap the ticket and instantly receive the reward without sitting through the ad, which honestly saves a surprising amount of time if you collect movie ticket rewards daily. And the rewards themselves can actually be pretty good too. Sometimes you get expansion materials, mining tools, vouchers, diamonds, and other useful items basically for free. So if you're already someone who occasionally spends a little money on 𝗦𝗦𝗢𝗍 anyway, this trick makes those next few months much more convenient. Now obviously you do not need to spend money to enjoy the game at all. 𝗦𝗦𝗢𝗍 is completely playable for free, but this is one of those small hidden mechanics that many players don't discover until much later. And honestly, once the instant rewards start happening, going back to full ads feels painful. Tip number 4. Master the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 production loop. If you want your farm to feel smoother, less stressful, and way more productive while you're offline, then you seriously need to learn how to use 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 properly. Because many new players either ignore them completely or use them the wrong way. But when you combine them correctly, they basically create an automated production system for your farm. And honestly, once you understand this trick, it feels overpowered. The biggest mistake players make is activating only one helper. If you are using free booster cards, always try to activate 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 together. Even if you only have one available, it can actually be worth spending diamonds for the second one because they work best as a pair. Here is why. 𝗏𝗏 handles the animals. She feeds them automatically, collects products like milk and bacon, and keeps the feed machines moving. Then 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 actually takes those raw materials and starts producing dairy and sugar products automatically. So together, they create a full self-sustaining loop while you're offline. Also, there are some important strategies regarding 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 to use them properly, such as balancing their quotas correctly. For example, don't tell 𝗏𝗏s to collect huge amounts of milk while 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 barely has any daily tasks assigned, because then your barn starts filling up with raw materials and production slows down. Instead, synchronize them. If 𝗏𝗏s is heavily focused on milk collection, then 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 should also be making butter, cream, or cheese consistently to absorb their milk supply. That balance keeps the production loop running smoothly without bottlenecks. Honestly, 𝗏𝗏s and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 are way deeper than most people realize, and there are so many small tricks to use them efficiently. I could genuinely make an entire guide just about them alone. So if you want a complete 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 guide like the best settings, best quotas, overnight strategies, and how to maximize profit with them, comment below because I'd love to make a full video on it. For now, let's move on to our last tip. Tip number 5 is stop hoarding only one type of upgrade material. Okay, this tip is about something I'm sure almost all of you have experienced in 𝗦𝗦𝗍𝗍. And yes, I'm talking about that one specific tool that you keep getting again and again, way more than everything else. I know every player has it. For some of you, it might be land deeds, for others, it might be mallets or marker sticks. And for silo and barn upgrades, it's the same story. For me personally, it's usually wood panels that I keep getting non-stop. But I know for all of you, there is always one item that the game just loves giving you more than anything else. And here's the real problem. You don't even realize it, but that one item slowly starts filling up your barn. And the worst part is, we don't have a separate storage for expansion tools. So instead of your barn being full of useful products, it ends up getting clogged with these unnecessary upgrade tools that you are just holding for later. But here's the truth, you really don't need 80 or 90 of one item if your other materials are sitting in the 20s or 30s. That imbalance is exactly what makes your barn feel full all the time. And that's when the game starts feeling stressful for no reason. So the smart move is simple. Either sell them or trade them. Even if you sell just 10 to 20 extra items, you often end up getting more of them again anyway. But a much better strategy is trading them for the materials you actually need, so your progress stays balanced. And honestly, I realized this much later in the game at a very higher level. But if you start doing this early, it makes a huge difference. Because on lower levels especially, managing your barn properly is everything. If your barn keeps getting filled with just one type of tool, your whole gameplay becomes frustrating. You cannot collect products properly, you cannot store items, and everything starts feeling stuck. So the simple rule is, don't let one material take over your barn, keep it balanced, trade smartly, and sell extras when needed. Because once your barn is under control, the entire game feels 10 times smoother. And that's it. These were 5 life-changing 𝗦𝗦𝗍𝗍𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 tips that can seriously change the way you play the game. And once you start applying even a few of these tips, you'll notice your farm becomes way more organized, less stressful, and honestly just way more enjoyable. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments which tip helped you the most, or if you already knew any of these tricks. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.